And hello, YouTube. It's Wednesday, October 26th, 2022, 6:08 p.m. Man, October went by so fast, and I have like zero plans for Halloween, which I probably shouldn't really stress about because I'm actually kind of doing so much extra work right now that there's no point in really planning on much of anything. So looking at Google Traffic View, I'm thinking my best route today is going to be to actually go down Air Lane, which is a street I haven't used in ages, and one I don't think I've included on my vlog of all the boring ass streets of Phoenix you guys see me drive down at night when it's not particularly clear. Oh, stop. That was my last chance alarm. I'm up, I'm awake, hello. Oh goodness. It's got a text message from Amazon. Yeah, I'll get right on reading that. I was kind of hoping it would be a text message from the woman that followed me home on Saturday night, but didn't come in. I did get a couple text messages from her on, I forget what day. Monday, during the day on Monday while I was asleep. And of course, Monday evening I overslept. Hello, get out of the street, fool. Well, I almost didn't see that person. They really need sidewalks down this street. It's not busy, but it's busy enough, and it has pedestrian traffic on it, and it's dark. Anyway, sorry, having a little trouble focusing. I'm kind of tired today. Glad today is the last day of my Amazon work week. Although I'm doing an extra night on Friday night, so there's that. Sure, I came out this way when I'm headed to Air Lane, but anyway, have it, I guess. This is going to work out pretty well for me, though. Myself to the left lane just in case I don't make the screen at 44th. And I'm not making the green at 44th. That's fine. That's why I adjusted my lane position. Because I know this green left arrow is going to happen first. And do I want to use any Loop 202? Oh, hell no. No. Well, except for the access road to pop me over to 40th might be handy. Yeah, the red starts at about 36th Street. And there's an accident on the I-10 going into the tunnel. That's fabulous. On the bright side, the accident on the I-10 makes the traffic on the other side of I-17 a little bit better than normal. So a lot of orange on that.
Upstairs?
And red where the 202 meets. Yeah, I'm headed to Air Lane.
Just strap on this harness and climb right up.
Up this rock climbing wall.
I'm sitting way farther back than I should because I'm looking at my map on my other one. Anyway, where was I? So the woman who followed me home on Saturday night, who I had really good vibes with, and I think I mentioned that she did call me back at 3 in the morning. She would have actually come over had I answered my phone at 3 in the morning, I think. Decided she did indeed want to be with me late at night because she got home. And so my understanding is she lives with her adult daughters, their children, and her stepdaughter, which is around the age of my younger daughter. I want to say 11-ish. She hasn't mentioned anything about working. Is that kind of... Oh, look, there's an ad for Amazon. Oh, missed
Lately,
it.
it's been all about who's going to be governor and senator.
I love it when I hear ads for Amazon hiring.
Could make or break good jobs at the big utilities.
Meanwhile, Adam on Phoenix Homeless is like, should I get a job? He actually posted a video about that. Dude, everybody in the comment section on your videos for like the last year plus has been telling you need to get a job. Get a job, dude. Oh my goodness. It's funny listening to his new video describing like what he wants in a job. Like, I just want something where I don't really have to work. I think that was an actual quote of him. I hope I'm not mincing his words, but I think I want to say somewhere in there he said, but I really want a job where I don't have to work. I'm like, yeah, don't we all, dude? Like, if I could get paid just to, lay in bed for 10 hours a day, that would be awesome. Or I don't know, yeah, paid to ride just sit around on the light rail and play with my cell phone all day long. That would be awesome. Although, to be fair, like, I've been just kind of telling him he should go work at Amazon just because the hiring process is so streamlined that pretty much if you show up, you've got a pulse, you pass the drug test, and a very minimal background check, like, you're hired, and you pretty much got your pick. Not so much a pick of what you do, as far as like what you end up doing. A lot of that just kind of is luck of the draw of like when you come in for the mass hiring, what learning ambassador you get paired up with and what department they go. And on that note, I'm really glad that the learning ambassador I first got paired up with was Lyrica, because I feel like him and I kind of connect. And I'm glad he's realized that he's a him and not a her, because that was awkward. Since he has way more of a 5 o'clock shadow than I do. Anyway, but yeah, so I'm glad I got paired up with him, not only because I click well with him and get along with him, but we went to inbound as opposed to other departments that I don't think I would have liked starting in. And we worked in fluid, and we worked on the PID lines as line loaders. And then I was given a choice that day. Well, which of these do you prefer? And I was like, line loading, definitely, not even close. And I was a line loader for a while and absolutely loved being a line loader. And I forget when I was offered to be a water spider. It wasn't really that long into working there. And I really enjoyed that as well, too, although it's much more physical work. And then I've, progressed on to doing other stuff, most notably forklift driving, which I will be back to next week. I could maybe be back to it today if I ask. Well, I'm kind of looking forward to one more day. I to be honest, I do like working prep and receive, which is where I've been the last couple weeks. Most of the last couple weeks. Oh, by the way, I'm headed to Airlane. Anybody actually paying attention to where I'm driving? And I'm recording on the Obamaphone, which oddly enough does a better job of recording in the phone holder at night, in spite of the fact that it doesn't have image stabilization. This intersection being what it is now is still so weird to me, because you can still see the old traffic light poles up there with street signs that are no longer lit up, but they're there. I love that view of the airport right as you pull in that intersection. This used to be one of my favorite shortcuts in little parts of town, but used to be if you kept going forward on that, it would become Airlane. Like, this is Airlane, and directly behind me is Airlane access road, which is cut off from this and that intersection. It used to be if you continued south on 40th Street, you were on like the realigned Airlane, which was almost like a highway, even though it was a 2-lane road. with just one access point to get to the access road, which is on the old alignment of Air Lane, and then it acted like a little mini freeway and connected you to the.
And with less than 2 weeks until election.
Yeah, I caught the tail end of Jim Sharper Point, and it sounded kind of cool. I missed what it was about though. Other than he was kind of getting on the subject of just making assumptions about swaths of people just based on a cursory look of them. Anyway, so it's 6:16 p.m. Yeah, the Obamaphone cut me off, and that's because when I left out, I thought I'd made enough space for it, but I made download space, not recording space, which are two different things on that phone. Feeling kind of like an idiot for that, but anyway, just continuing here on the Obamaphone. So I was trying to explain where Air Lane went, and the shitty thing is because I ran out, y'all didn't get to see much of Air Lane. I mean, you didn't miss much, to be honest. I think I swapped out phones pretty quick, but wow, there's somebody walking on the south side of the road in the bike lane because there are no sidewalks. Anyway, what I was trying to explain was that Air Lane used to, if you went south from 40th Street, it was like a little highway, and it went south onto the, and it would connect like a freeway off-ramp, like, you know, limited access, no pedestrian access, freeway type on-ramp to southbound 153, which used to be the state highway that went right along the edge of Sky Harbor. It's now 44th Street, but when the oh, hang on, this is interesting.
Cool pavement in Phoenix. Tell me
about the gray
what
painting
that
on the
means
pavement.
exactly.
Hang on.
Well, cool pavement is what we're applying here in Phoenix. There's actually an asphalt-based product that we're putting down our roadways that rather than attract heat, it actually reflects out heat that would normally be absorbed by our asphalt. So in essence, makes the asphalt cooler and the area around the asphalt cooler as well.
I can totally see that that's a topic that everybody's going to get behind. There's not much hotter than Phoenix and the ground in the dead of summer here. What kind of difference in temps are we talking about?
So we're working with ASU as our research partner on this to be able to look at the effects of this. And what we've seen is actually the surface temperature is being 10 to 12 degrees cooler than if a surface of a roadway that doesn't have this treatment on it. We've also seen reductions in the air temperature above the roads, as well as the road surface underneath the surface actually is cooler as well.
So is this going to be, when you say the roads, is it roads we're driving on or roads and parking lots and park areas? Or something like that where we'll be walking on?
So Phoenix has more than 4,000 miles of residential streets, or neighborhood streets, where your homes are, where apartments are. We're applying this in those neighborhoods, and so far we've been able to apply 16 neighborhoods with this cool pavement treatment, and we have many more that we're planning on doing this coming year.
And what do the residents say?
I didn't walk through one of those neighborhoods in one of my
the
vlogs.
difference in the temperature?
Yeah, we've had a lot of good input from the community, and we've actually had a lot of people out there saying we want it as well. So we're trying to take that into account as people are wanting this to feature in there as well, because the whole idea is to be able to make their neighborhoods cooler, more walkable, and something they are able to enjoy because that's the streets they interact with the most.
Honestly, I'm really excited to hear about that. Anything that you can do to bring that tip down a little bit. So let's talk, though, about cost. Is this a really expensive proposition to do?
Well, the nice thing about these, the cool pavement treatment we're using, it's about 2 to 3 times the normal cost of a seal coat out there. But what we're also seeing is because
that's a figure
we're
I've been
putting it out
wanting to
there
hear.
as an environmental benefit, trying to reduce the urban heat island impact
2 to
around
3
the
times
city.
is
We're actually
substantial.
also seeing that it might have a maintenance impact where it actually extends the life of our pavements. And that's
a good
something
thing.
we're working with our researchers partners as well to be able to evaluate how much this might actually extend the life of our pavements, which is a great win-win for the city of Phoenix and for our residents.
And I'm assuming, of course, the goal is eventually, if this is working out like you think it is, to get it everywhere in Phoenix. And I'm sure a lot of people would be really glad to hear that. When are you going to be doing more?
So we have already done 73 miles of pavement throughout the city of Phoenix, and this coming year we expect to have about at least another 35 or 40 miles, and that will likely be applied sometime this next spring. And so our intent is to be able to do about 9 to 11 neighborhoods additional per year going forward in perpetuity.
One real quick question before we go: how do we know when an area's been treated with cool pavement? Does it look different?
Yes.
Great question. We actually have been working on the formulation with our manufacturer on this, and we have something that's actually they've called it now Phoenix Gray, and so it actually looks like aged concrete, like almost like a sidewalk when we're putting it down. So it is lighter in color than what you'd see in a normal asphalt street. But we'll also be reaching out to neighborhoods before we're putting it down, so they'll know it's coming to their neighborhood.
Kenny Knudsen, Phoenix Street Transportation Director, talking about cool pavement. I cannot wait to try it out. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the invitation. Have a wonderful evening.
You too. Boy, get out there and walk around, hopefully on some cool pavement very soon. It's 6:24 now from the KTAR.
No, walk around on the
Business
sidewalk, please.
California-based Family Development and Phoenix-based Mosaic have teamed up to develop a $69 million.
That was a cool interview. I actually really want to hear more about that. I do wish they had stated specifically what neighborhoods do have it for people that are interested enough to go check it out. I can tell you it's in the neighborhood between 52nd Street and 42nd Street, and between Thomas and Osborne. I do have one of my vlogs where I'm walking around that neighborhood and kind of marveling at, wow, they got the cool street coating going on here. And I'll try to remember to link that vlog to this one, but yeah, the way I'm going with getting that stuff done, don't hold your breath. You might have to do some searching to find it. And I expect I did nothing in that video's title that will help you find it, because the cool streets weren't really the focus of that video, but it actually probably has more footage of actual Phoenix cool streets than any other video on YouTube. Just because I'm walking through it, I'm walking, you know, it's unedited. I'm just walking through neighborhoods that have it. I do find it interesting that they mentioned that they have a custom formulation that they've come up with for Phoenix called Phoenix Gray from the manufacturer. Because the first video that I saw, which I think was actually on the City of Phoenix channel about that stuff, they were making it white, and one of the downsides of the white was that as people drove on it, it turned it gray and it made it kind of unsightly. It gave it this dirty look. Whereas if it's already starting gray, more likely it's going to kind of stay gray. I like how I said it had the look of aged concrete. I can kind of, after walking across the neighborhood and some streets that have it, yeah, that was kind of the impression I got. People driving on it still definitely leave some stains, especially the assholes that feel like they got to burn rubber. It's certainly a lot more noticeable on that than it is on normal blacktop. A little dismayed by the fact that they said it's like 2 to 3 times the cost. Because I know in one of my videos I had mentioned I was walking by. Actually, I was mentioning that I had walked by, but that I'd run out of space on my phone or battery on my phone, or probably both, one on each, and wasn't able to shoot video on as I walked by a parking lot on the north side of Thomas as I was walking to get my car a couple Sundays ago. I left my car at the bar. Stephanie came and picked me up, and I was really no shit for driving, so that was a win-win-win all the way around. But yeah, of course, the next day bus wasn't running. I mean, like the time I chose to walk and head that way ended up being a bus that was scheduled, didn't show up, didn't feel like waiting. I didn't feel like waiting 45 minutes for a bus, because it would have been 15 minutes for when the bus should have showed up, and then another 30 minutes to the next one. Yeah, screw that, kept walking. Unless, yeah, this guy is just hovering in my blind spot, made me miss the goddamn Buckeye exit. Dude, you should never hover in people's blind spot. That's how you get cut off, asshole. That's why you're not supposed to pass on the right, you dick. Of course, I should have been more in the right lane, ready for that exit, because I know where that exit is. But I think I'm just, rather than going down to Van Buren, I think I'm going to just double back from Grant. That should be effective. This is such a neat radio ad.
Here goes. A chance of a lifetime for Luis Gonzalez. 2-2, bottom of the ninth, Game 7 World Series. Bases loaded. Here's the pitch. There it goes. And the Diamondbacks are world champions. What do you say to that, Gonzo?
Shazam! I'm also a big fan of all sports.
Well, we're both fans.
I'm really not a fan of all sports, but I worked in sportscasting when I was much younger, and definitely a fan of Al McCoy. And to hear his he's been the voice of the Phoenix Suns forever, and to hear him doing play-by-play of that historic moment from the first season of the Diamondbacks that's kind of cool. That makes for a unique radio ad for sure. I forget what the product is even for. Every time I hear this, it's Al McCoy. I kind of turn it up a little bit. I'm like, oh, that's wild what they're doing there. That's kind of neat. That's a unique ad. Don't know it's such an effective ad though, because I don't remember what the hell they're advertising, because I know it has nothing to do with sports. All right, may as well kill my traffic view. I can see that that I-10 is still a complete clusterfuck. I exited at Grant because I missed the damn exit for Buckeye at 6:30. Here's the evening news.
I'm probably breaking some news here.
Could the former leader of the free world potentially lead the Phoenix Suns? We'll have the details.
Wait,
Also,
what?
We have started our tabulation earlier in the week.
Election officials already are counting your early votes. We'll tell you how many so far. And also, we've learned there's been a break-in at the campaign headquarters of one of Arizona's candidates for governor.
Oh,
All
for
this and more
fuck's
coming
sake.
up, but right now, let's get a look at that road hump for you. Here's Chuck Rowe in the Valley Chevy.
That kind of shit's just making me sick. I'm kind of amused by the whole vigilantes at the polling locations, but I'm the kind of person that's just simply not intimidated by that kind of shit. I mean, if I'm walking up and I'm dropping off 3 ballots, how do they know they're not for my conservative mother, my conservative grandfather, and one of them is me voting mostly conservative? Like, you're gonna yell at me and assume I'm a mule because I'm dropping 3 ballots in the box? Fuck right off. And as far as, I'm not going to be intimidated by the tactical gear and the guns. Hello, I'm very pro-Second Amendment. And for all they know, I could be packing too and just concealing it. Because that's generally legal in Arizona. So, yeah, not intimidated, and they can fuck right off. And as far as for people, keeping footage and stuff, I mean, it's my understanding most of the polling locations, or most of the early ballot drop boxes, do have, I believe most of them do have cameras on them that are live streaming if somebody really wants to watch that sort of thing. But I do think private citizens making additional footage is a good thing. Because and I'm not really worried about this, but hypothetical situation. All too often when shit goes down with the police, especially here in Phoenix, the cop's body cam just happened to not be on, or happened to not be working. And I could potentially see if something shady happened with a Dropbox. Not that I think that it's going to, but if it did, I could see that being coordinated with the camera that's supposed to be live streaming it and recording it, put there by the county recorder, not being on or not working or whatever. So I think additional footage is a good thing. I'm very, very, very in favor of, I mean, here I am recording in public as I drive down, Buckeye Road. I'm all for, the First Amendment right, freedom of the press, freedom to record and take video and images in public. People freaking out. Oh, I got video of my license plate. Dude, I got video of license plate of the truck right in front of me. Kind of. Can't really make it out. I don't know if it's clear in the video. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Whatever. When you're driving a vehicle, your license plate is visible in public. It is what it is. People are going to know that I voted. Guess what? Those voter rolls are public information. People are going to know whether you voted or not anyway. So fucking what? I don't know why anybody would bother to check that. God, I did see like a pro get out and vote kind of ad that kind of was trying to shame people into voting by like saying your friends and neighbors can check and see if you voted or not. So fucking what? They can't see who you voted for. That's private. Anyway, I'm not bothered by what they're doing. I do think I think in some aspects it's a little silly. I did hear that they've been yelling and telling people that they can't put more than one ballot in the drop box, which is patently false. Although, I tell you, if somebody walks by and it's dropping like 50 ballots in a drop box, that's pretty sus. But when they're talking about drop boxes, keep in mind, these are mail-in ballots. Every single mailbox is technically a ballot drop-off box. I mean, granted, that requires putting a stamp on. Actually, no, I think it's in a postpaid envelope. Come to think of it. So, like, they're sitting there guarding the ballot drop box, but the reality is every single mailbox in the entire United States is an Arizona ballot drop box. I don't know, there's just layers of stupid on this. But I definitely support the recording of what's going on. And I would have to agree, if somebody put like 50 ballots in a box, that's pretty sus. It is. And it's something that certainly would be like worth kind of checking on, especially since they're periodically emptying them and tabulating them already. Anyway, enough about that. That's been dominating the Arizona news cycle and spilling into the national news cycle, and the whole thing's just weird. But yeah, like, somebody's campaign headquarters being vandalized. I mean, there are certain politicians I think are absolutely abhorrent, but I don't support breaking and entering into their campaign headquarters whatsoever. You know, just vote them out. There's a solution. Vote them out. Don't vote for them. Hello. Anyway, I was talking about that coating before that came on. The cool coat that they're putting on Phoenix streets. It was kind of disappointing when hearing the person for the city of Phoenix state that they're only using that on residential city streets, because I do think city-owned parking lots, and I'm glad his name is in this recording, because I do want to. Now I know who to talk to. Now I know who's in charge of that program. And who to maybe write a letter to or try to actually speak to in person. Will I find the time to do it? Do I ever find the time to do these things? Hardly ever. Occasionally I do. But I do think that, I mean, I agree that you know, residential city streets are definitely where it should be rather than Stroads. I think it would have a negative impact on Stroads. It would make the white dotted lines a lot harder to see. One thing that wasn't touched on is I do believe that surface coating makes it more difficult to stop in the rain. I do think it's a little more. It doesn't give as much traction as regular blacktop, so that's certainly a factor as well. Now, granted, that shouldn't be a problem in a residential street. You shouldn't be going more than 25, 30 miles per hour tops. Kind of like the campaign they got going on in Portland of 20 is plenty, because in most residential neighborhoods 20 really is plenty. You have some respect for kids playing and people walking, and children with bicycles and electric scooters and skateboards. Anyway, but yeah, I do think the city's kind of missing the boat by not putting it on city-owned parking lots, such as municipal parking lots for government offices, and also for parking lots at city parks, especially parking lots at city parks. I mean, one thing that and I forget who it was that did the interview. One of the regulars on KTAR that I listen to all the time. Forget her. That gal.
I heard Obama's involved in one of the groups, and that's the one guy that I feel like they would make him the actual face, and the money guys would be so happy to have him at the front.
This comes as majority owner Robert Sarver seeks to sell the team after the NBA announced he'd be suspended.
That would be some wild shit if Obama owned the Suns. Not gonna lie, but I wonder how, do you really want to drag politics that far into sports? A lot of people really don't want politics dragged into sports, and that would just do it by proxy. It would. And I know the Suns have a lot of conservative fans, and I would hate to see something that really has nothing to do with basketball turn people away from the Suns. I would hate to see that happen. There is a small part of me that is still a Suns fan, just saying. Anyway, so back to the asphalt coating. So yeah, the gal that was doing the interview kept mentioning, oh, it'd feel good to walk on it. Well, you really don't walk on streets, you walk on sidewalks. However, Phoenix city parking lots, city park parking lots, and municipal parking lots for that matter, but especially city park parking lots, people do walk across those. And some parking lots, you got to walk across, quite a bit to get to. I'm making the turn today. I'm not fucking it up like I did yesterday. Yeah, so you do walk across that. That is a normal thing to walk across to get to your car. And I do think some of the busier city parks, particularly like the Phoenix Zoo, that's a city-owned thing. Also, like in Cano Park, and like even right there by my place at Pierce Park. I do think that would really make an impact as far as like there are times Papago Park's a pretty notable one too, where I'm at the park in the summertime and it's nice in the park and there's shade trees and have a picnic and yeah, it's warm because it's Phoenix, but it's still all nice to be at the park, especially if you're going to a park that has a city pool. I used to, when Lily was living with me and younger, I used to love taking her to city parks to swim, even though we've got a private pool in our apartment complex. Loved going to the other, she liked going to the city parks to swim because she'd be able to be around other kids, and it was just fun seeing her play with other kids, and sometimes I'd have some engaging conversation with the parents of the other kids. So and yeah, generally it was a good time. But one thing that I definitely didn't like was leaving, sometimes walking across the asphalt at the parking lot to get back to my car would be brutally hot. Especially since I'm coming out of the swimming pool, I'm probably, definitely not wearing anything more than flip-flops, and I've got my swim trunks on, and that heat just rising off the blacktop in the summertime it's brutal. It really is. If you've never been around Phoenix in the summertime, walking across a parking lot, blacktop parking lot, it's an experience. Like the heat that comes off of it is way higher than just the regular Phoenix heat. And the regular Phoenix heat gets well into the 110s. Very rarely does it hit 120, but it gets awfully close to 120, like a lot. 115 is not an unusual temperature for Phoenix in the summertime. So yeah, when you get the blacktop, it absorbs that heat and it reflects it. And it's brutally hot. So I think applying that in parking lots could be a really good thing, and I feel like somebody needs to bring that to the. Since I heard an interview of the guy that's in charge of that project, I think somebody should bring that to his attention. And somebody could be me, or it could be you. Y'all heard his name. Just got a text message from Priscilla. So I did get I was talking about the. I had mentioned that I saw a private parking lot, and I thought it would be potentially a good idea to mandate that private businesses in Phoenix should have to use that coating as well for their parking lots. But hearing that it's 2 to 3 times as expensive, nah, that's a cost prohibitive thing that could make or break a small business. So I can't. And I did mention when I mentioned that you know, it would be really dependent on how much more expensive it is. 2 to 3 times the cost of just a regular black coating. Yeah, I can't get, as much as I like the climate benefits, I can't get behind something that would cause that kind of a price increase to a small business owner or even a large business owner. Just can't get behind that. Although I tell you, if I had a business that was successful enough, I would consider spending the 2 to 3 times extra to put that coating on my parking lot, especially if I had a lot of customers walking across my parking lot. Because I think that's something that would make them want to go to my business more than maybe competing businesses if they're not sweltering walking to and from their cars. So, yeah, there's an Amazon truck. I wonder if he's turning right there because his GPS told him that that's the way that he should go to GYR3. Actually, he could be going to PHX5. That is the way to go to PHX5. I sometimes forget that we got literally PHX5 directly across the street. And that's something I talk about with some of my coworkers too. Is like, especially some of the more management type, is every time I'm sorting a bunch of stuff that's going to PHX5, it's like, why don't we have underground conveyors and an underground walkway that connects us in PHX5? Wouldn't it be a lot more cost effective to just throw everything going to PHX5 on a fucking conveyor to PHX5, or have water spiders walking across on a pallet jack versus sending it in trucks? I mean, we literally send trucks, semi-trucks, across the street. And GYR3, which is an inbound soda facility, too. Oh, I just turned on 71st. Wow, I don't believe I did that. He was not going to GYR3 or PHX5. I don't know where he's going. I don't know where I'm going. That is not the first time I've made that mistake either. In the dark, 71st and 79th look just the damn same to me. You know, I guess I should notice there's a building on the right there as opposed to the big empty cornfields. Now, seeing that Amazon truck turn right just had me thinking I was at 75th, but in fact I was at 67th. I miss having good enough vision to read street signs, I really do. Of course, it doesn't help that a lot of these Phoenix street signs that are supposed to be lit up aren't lit up. I do think those last ones were, though. Yeah, these are lit up. Wow, completely facing the wrong direction, though. Y'all see that? See how it's going to the right of the stoplight? It's supposed to... Oh, wow. And look at this one. It says Van Buren, but it's facing alongside 75th Avenue. Wow. That one heading north, pointing north from the streetlight pole. That one pointing north from the streetlight pole. That's due to, I've seen this happen quite a bit, and they're like that over at 79th Avenue too. That's from those storms that we had go through. The wind is so intense that it actually rotates those things on the poles. And Phoenix doesn't seem to be making any effort to face them in the right direction. Hey, at least the one there on 75th Avenue is rotated a whole 180 degrees, so it's kind of facing the right direction. Anyway, it's all good. It's only I'm gonna have to start wearing pants, hoodie to stay warm. It was really chilly yesterday morning.
It is 73 degrees. Weather brought to you by Howard Air with the replace the repair.
See, I should recognize this corner. You can see GYR3, you can see the big cornfield. Anyway, So yeah, was it Monday? I got text messages from the woman that came on with me on Saturday night, which is super awkward because pretty much all day Monday I spent in Priscilla's bed, and I've been in pretty constant contact with her since. She actually, you know, I was gonna join her in the early morning after work for maybe bedroom fun, maybe just cuddles. Not sure, but I was gonna join her in the morning. And I didn't realize she wasn't working from home today, but I guess her plan was for like me to just kind of join her in bed in the morning, and then she was going to give me food to go for dinner tonight when she went to work, and I guess I was just going to, you know, head home at that time. Didn't realize it. I figured I'd be like stuck at her bed like most of the day again, but yeah, so she had to leave at like 8:15 to go to work. Anyway, she didn't answer me this morning after work. And it's like, well, whatever. Okay, I even tried to call. I generally don't do voice calls, but yeah. So I was like, well, guess you're asleep. Can't let me in, so I'm going home. And she did text me maybe about maybe about an hour later as I was at home working on music. That's kind of been my morning routine now, as I just work on my karaoke music, my digital music library. Made some good progress on that today. Unfortunately, I'm out of time to talk about it, but added a Pink album and did quite a bit of work to add a Alice Cooper Welcome to My Nightmare. And yeah, just full albums of music. Which granted I don't play nearly as much as I do videos and karaoke, but I like to keep moving to that library anyway. And then I never park on the side of the walkway, but I think I'm going to park right there, the driveway, but I'm going to park right here and just walk through the pedestrian way there. Anyway, I got to wrap this up because I'm at work. 31 minutes, not a bad commute time. Not at all, especially considering how much surface treating I did. 31 minutes? That's not true. It's 31 minutes since I restarted the video on Air Lane. Oh, yeah, I didn't make it time. Of course I didn't make it time. Anyway, where was I? Anyway, she did actually bring me food on the way to work, which was really sweet. So I'm going to have some homemade chili that she made me, and that's nice. Anyway, thanks for coming with me on the drive. Like and subscribe, and there will always be more videos later.